So today I think I'm just gonna try to do, if we look at the original here, when we spawn, oh actually we just appear there. We don't even spawn from this bottom platform. But see how the ostriches or the vultures take turns spawning? They don't all spawn at once, and when they do spawn, they spawn at one of these platform icons. Or sprite, whatever you want to call it. So today I'm going to try to add the sprites for those platforms. We have to make a sprite, we have to place the sprite, and then we have to go into the logic and make sure that our vultures are coming from these spawn points. As well as us, because when we respawn here at this one. But if we die, if we die, we come out at a random one. So we've got to add that. So if I take a little reference photo of it, and then I open our platform sprite, we can place it and size it appropriately. Let me look at this. So we've got, if you look at the angle here, it's just like a 45-degree angle. So the platform is also a 45-degree angle. It's a little taller than half the height of the platform. So we've got to figure out how big and wide we want that. I guess it kind of matters how big an ostrich is in relation to it. So, if our box goes from here to there, then this part is about exactly as wide as our box. So it's about 16 pixels right here. Then add another 4 or 5 pixels on the side for the taper. But other than that, it should be real simple to make. So if we do, if we look at how many pixels this is, about 5 pixels. So if we do 16 plus 10, that's 26 wide. So how tall? We want it a little taller than halfway, and 16 wide. So about that tall, which is 5 pixels. 5 pixels wide, and what I say, 26, or 5 pixels high, 26 wide. Let's do that. I'm gonna do a new sprite. We're 26 wide, and we're 5 high. And it's actually gray. So if we look at our angle here, it's just like a 45-degree angle with a black outline, So if we do paint bucket, then we do a pencil at pure black, and we draw the diagonals, and see, it's not quite, oh, you know what, this is Oh yeah, this is 1 pixel. So the question is does that look believable for this? There is our wand tool. Okay, so does this look anything like it, first of all? Oopsie. This. Yeah. It's hard to say. It's like this might be 1 more pixel. Looks like crap, doesn't it? Does that look better or worse? If we shrink it, it looks too thick of an outline when we do two lines, right? Gosh. Yeah, it looks like too thick of an outline. So we'll just stick with the 1 and see how it looks when we plop it in the game and then go from there. Okay, so if we save this, you know, we want to make sure that we are, if our 16 wide ostrich is standing here, we still fit 18, so there's a pixel buffer on each side, so that's about perfect. So we're going to export this as a PNG in our pics, and it's going to be platform. No, it's going to be platform spawn. So that's a PNG, platform spawn, and there's a couple ways we can go about implementing it. Right now, I'm literally just gonna, you know, import it as a platform spawn drawable in our main function. So platform spawn gets, and we're gonna import love.graphics.new image. The path is source fix platform spawn.png. Now we're going to make sure that file's actually in our source, because sometimes a sprite doesn't export it for some reason. Platform spawn. Yep. So for right now, you know, there's 1 right in the middle, right? 1 right in the middle on the ground floor. So in our play state, instead of drawing, look, we draw our ground and everything. So after we draw our ground, I guess we can do it right here. We can say love.graphics.draw. And the thing we're going to draw is our platform spawn drawable. And the X and the Y is going to be our ground platform X. No, it'll be, actually, our X is just going to be our virtual width divided by 2, shifted by 1/2 of our platform spawn which is 13. So if we do this, that should be right in the center of the screen we draw it, but then at the height of our ground platform .y. So we'll see if we're now drawing this platform spawn right in the middle of the ground platform. It would help 2 things. 1, we got to turn off our keys, our keylogger, which I thought was in our play state, but it's not. Where is our keylogger? It's not in our ostrich class or our play state. Over help toggle. Yeah, where's our keylogger at? Not in our main, is it? No. How come I can't find keylogger? Oh, because I minimized it. Yeah, so if we have it so that if we just delete this one line there, it comments out that whole everything. So now we need to do one more thing, which is set our color to be white. So love.graphics dot set color gets pure white. Okay. And then now we'll see. Sweet. So it looks like it's not in the complete center. Yeah, it just looks like it's not in the complete center. It looked like it almost changed the color of our explosion sprite. No, it's fine. It's the same. Okay. That doesn't look like in the middle, because that looks like in the middle. So, what do we do here? Figure out why it's not in the middle. So if we just draw it at the center, it would be offset. This should mean that the left side of our image is right in the middle. But look, it's clearly not. So why is that the case? I wonder what our last platform's X is. In our play state, when we make our last platform, our X is just 96. Is that arbitrary? It looks way off to me. Because virtual width divided by 2 should mean that the left side of this is right in the halfway mark. It almost looks that way. Let me see if, yeah, you know what? Because if you look at the platform here, if you look at this platform, if you assume that there's an equal amount of you know, a platform here on each side, this doesn't quite look like in the very middle of this platform, right? Very middle would be like, the middle of the platform would be like right here. The white should be shifted over. So we're looking at this, it's not centered with this one. It's only, I don't know, it's almost like ours is drawing it from here, so we just need to shift it by like a whole platform width to the side. And it doesn't have to be perfect. We're just going for as game accurate as we can. Reasonably. Because we can always change this. So, play state, platform spawn. We're going to shift this by a whole platform width, which is 26 pixels. Platform spawn width. So now it should look more in the center. Yeah, that looks more game accurate to me, because it looks like it's not, you know, it looks like it's left justified with this, which is what the original looked like, and original looked like this spawn was like a little left of this, right? Yeah, just a tiny bit left. So that looks, you know, if you compare it to what it is down there, it looks just about right. Yeah. I'm happy with that. So now we need the other one, which there's one. Let's just do them on platform order. So this is platform 1, this is platform 2. So platform 2's y is going to be 65. So we can say that the second argument in there is going to be 65. But we need all the other good stuff. And this is we just need the X for platform 2. But yeah, it's not the X of platform 2, it's the X plus whatever that is, like 20 pixels or whatever. Looks like 20 pixels. So we'll see whatever our platform 2X is, and then we'll add 20 pixels, so 76 turns into 96. We might just round it to 100 to be cute. But at the platform 2's y, that should work. So now we should have 2 of those platforms, which we do. It's over too far, so maybe it was maybe 95. That looks pretty good. Because if you look at where this overlaps with this bottom piece, the right side of this platform 2 one kind of sits right above the left side of the ground one, which we're close. You know, the right side of this is sitting just about over it. So I think I'm okay with that. Maybe move to the right just a bit. No, it looks good. Looks like the bottom one needs to move to the right just a bit. Move to the left just a bit, actually. Yeah, we'll move the ground one just to the left just a bit. So we'll do like maybe 30 pixels here. Yeah. Okay, those two look good. Now let's get the platform 3 one, which needs to be at the platform 3y. And so our y needs to be 114, and our x needs to be platform 3 plus the same whatever we did for this one, for the platform 2 one. So if it was 95 and our platform 2 was 76, that's a 19 pixel difference. So if we go to our platform 3, add 19 pixels to our x, that should be it. So 12 plus 19 gets us to 231 on an x. So first argument, 231. Second argument, the y of platform. This is actually, we can actually hard code this to platform 3y. Platform 3y is 114, so platform 3.y should still be 114. And then this one, 65. Which is our platform 2y. And then instead of this being 231, it can actually be the platform 3's x plus that 19 pixel difference, and same with this one, platform 2's X plus that 19 pixels. And then we'll see if we've got 3. We do. It looks like they're maybe a little too far in. Yeah, I think I want to shift both of these a little less. Let me see what 15 looks like. Okay, I think I like that. And then if we look at, yeah, actually we were pretty close with our current spawns on those vultures. We can just tweak it just a little bit so that they're right in the center there. But I eyeballed where to place those based on the original. And now that I've eyeballed the placement of the spawn points, it looks pretty close. So yeah, if you compare it to the original down here, they're pretty close. So we just need the last platform 4 right one. Yeah, platform 4 right. Which we save as just platform 4. So we can say love.graphics.draw. Drawing the same sprite. And we're doing our platform 4's X, but we're doing the platform, from the right side of the platform. From the right side of the platform, we're subtracting not only our 26 of our platform spawns width, but an extra, who knows, 5 pixels right here. So if we do minus 26 plus 5 pixels, that's going to be a minus 31. That's just our X, and then our Y is going to be our platform 4's Y. Now we should have 4 platforms. We don't have platform 4 drawing. We have 4's X plus its width minus 31. Yeah, we want not this. We want the right side of our platform shifted by, let's just say right side of the platform and make sure that's doing what we want, which it is not. Platform 4Y. So what's going on here? Platform 4. So Y of 120. Wait a second. Platform 4's X is 260. I had platform 1, platform 1L, platform 2, platform 3, platform 4, platform 4L. Okay, 4L is the one we need. Come on. Where are you? Here, platform 4L is what we want. And we want the, we want the right side of that platform shifted by the platform's width plus an extra 5 pixels minus that 31. Platform 4L's Y, and now we should see all 4 spawn points. Nope. We messed up here. Then now all 4. Cool. Maybe we need another couple pixels on, maybe just 2 pixels. Do a nice round 33. So like we're looking at the space here for this left platform spawn sprite. And that looks about good. So I think I'm about happy with that. So one thing we can do to compare it better to the original is take our full screen off. And then actually if we make this resizable, we can actually really compare it here and say overlapping it, you know, with the original there. It looks like our bottom platform needs to move left a bit. It's hard to say. Still sized wrong. Yeah, let me see here. So, yeah, it's like we need this to be transparent. That's probably okay. So, the platforms do look a little taller in theirs than mine, but I think that's okay. Want some differences, you know, but I'm thinking that's very good. It's looking, I'm very happy with that likeness. Maybe move the ground platform left another 5 pixels. So we just want to move our ground platform spawn left another 5 pixels. Let's see how that looks. Because if you look where these kind of overlap, you know, the inwards, whatever you call this, tapering of this one, if you draw straight down, it should be to the right of the taper of the inside of that one. Oopsie. So we'll see if that is the same. We've got the inmost of the taper here, go straight down, and it's inside. That's just about perfect. I love that. I'm happy with how it looks. You know, it's not anything special, so that's okay. So now that we got them drawn there, it's like we need to change the we need a table of spawn points, each of which with an X and a Y, so that we can spawn us out of them. If we look at the vultures, we're close. We just need to shift them a bit. So I guess let's see how we spawn these vultures. Yeah, if we look in our play state and we look when we spawn our vultures, where do we do this? If we're spawning, so it looks like the Y we give it, oh no, look, we give it a platform spawn Y, but it should need the platform spawn X as well, shouldn't it? Where do we instantiate our vulture objects? Right here. So we've got an X, a Y, a width, a height, X, Y, width, height, platform spawn index. So where was our platform spawn index? Our platform spawn there. Here. Okay. So this, I think we just need we need a platform. So we don't need why wouldn't we need a platform spawn X here? How are we choosing where the X? Oh, right here. Okay. I don't know if I like that. So I guess we'll say when we instantiate it, we give it not. See, so this X here means that when we're doing our logic, we actually calculate our spawn based on the X that was given, and the X that was given is a platform plus the right side of a platform plus a couple pixels. So we can do you know, I want it to be able to say, you know, it's almost like we need a class for this, but it feels like overkill to have a class because we want to have an X and a Y for a table of all of these spawn points, so that we can just say upon instantiation or upon our death, spawn us at a random platform spawn, which would mean our X and Y gets changed. So maybe instead of saying, see, I think what bugs me is that I asked for a platform spawn Y, but why wouldn't we just calculate that off the given Y if we're doing the same shit for the X? Because when we calculate this, we offset it by 16, but why wouldn't we offset this one as well? It comes down to the execution of how the spawning logic works. So, oh, and you know what? I think this is why, because we're not actually changing our vulture's Y upon spawning. We're only changing the viewport. That's why we ended up doing it like that. So when we spawn it, see, I don't like this. We've got to do something special here, because we need to be able to pass in a platform to spawn at, and right now it's our code is not prioritized for that. It's prioritized to just, we're hard coding in the X, hard coding in the Y, but we really want to say, depending on which platform spawn you get, either 1, 2, 3, or 4, that determines the X and Y of your spawn point, which our Y isn't changed because of the implementation of how we spawn. We're actually not changing, since there's no hitboxes on it, we're not actually changing our object upon spawning. We're actually just changing how we render it. So when we're instantiated, our Y is actually the same Y as the shit. Well, you know what? That doesn't make any sense, because our Y would mean the top of our ostrich is the same top of platforms. So it wouldn't be standing on it. So I gotta look further into here, see what we do. You know what we do? We do shift our Y. So we instantiate at the very, same level. So the top of our pixel, top of our sprite is flush with the top of the platform sprite. And then we move our Y up 5 frames as long as we're spawning. Then we're no longer spawning if we're at the top of our platform. Okay, and then we still got to add the temporary invincibility for us when we respawn. But we need to do, I think we do need a class, because the thing is, I want to be able to call platform spawn 1.x platform spawn 1.y. Or at least, like, we do this because we want a random one of these. So our code for when we die and reinstantiate, which currently is, where would that be? If we're exploded, how do we see if we're exploded? Something exploded gets true right here if we collide and they're facing right, but we're not instantiating the new, we don't instantiate the new one until the new death, not the new explosion. So where do we say self-death? in our play state. No? Where would it be? Where are we reinstantiating our new ostrich upon our death? Here. Player 1.death, not self.death. That's where I messed up. I should have just done this. So look at right here. Right now we've got this hard-coded in at an X and a Y, but we really want this to be a random platform. So we'll say, we'll have to say math.random value, like just like this, where we say, give us a value of our table of spawn points, and then spawn us at said random value spawn points X and said random volume and it's Y. So we'll have to do something like that, because the code needs to not change, and because it needs to be the same code for every time we spawn, but we need it to be randomized. So we need to set a random variable in here somewhere, or we need a class of platform spawn points so that we can encapsulate 2 data points in X and Y of a platform spawn point, and then we need to pick a random one of the platforms and spawn our ostrich there. So I think that's a bit too ambitious for me today, because I still got to cook dinner with the roommates tonight, but we did get our platforms placed appropriately today, which is a good little step. So once we get that information encapsulated, we can then shift those data points easier for these, because see how they're not centered right here when they're spawning. So instead of just tweaking random pixels for each one of these guys upon their spawning, like here, we would say, instead of saying like, oh, well, this one needs 6 more pixels and this one needs 8 more pixels. Instead, when we have those encapsulated, we say that we're instantiating them at platform spawn 1's X and platform spawns Y, but the X needs a little bit of an offset to offset the taper there. So it'd probably be plus 5 or 6 pixels. So it'd be platform, random platform spawn point. Its X plus 6 would be the X for all of them, and then just that random platform spawn points Y would be the Y for all of them. But we would need to make sure we have a random number. We pick a random spawn point, and then of those 2 values, give it the X and Y. So I don't think it's too much. It's just that when I was looking at the stuff to add today, like what to do for programming today, it's like we've got egg hatching coming up, which I'm just not ready to even think about, because egg hatching means we need more sprites, we need the timer for the egg to hatch, we need to do an animation cycle for the hatch, and then we need to do the tier system, because we need to know what type of egg a bounder hatches into, and then we need to give it new AI once it becomes a Shadow Lord, or whatever the other one was called. Bounder, fuck, I always forget the middle one. But yeah, then there's new sprites for those new vultures depending on which tier they're on, and then there's new AI for those vultures. So just thinking about the egg explosion stuff is kind of killing me. So that's why I chose to tackle the platforms today, which right now we haven't done anything other than the cosmetic rendering, but we've got a game plan to make the new spawn points, and that'll work not only for the vultures but for us. But the last thing we need to do is put the timer on the vultures, because if you look at the original, when we spawn, where are we? What the heck's going on? It's not rendering us for some reason. So the last thing I wanted to show you is that we need to fix the way our vultures are spawning, because right now they spawn all at once, but how they really happen is the game goes da 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 da, and it goes brr, 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 spawns them like one by one like that. trying to put on here, sound on. There we go. So look at this. They go brr, brr, brr. See how like 2 came out of that hole, brr, 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 and then 1 came out of that hole. If we load it again, curious if two comes out of that top hole or it's random again. So we'll hear the sound. Oh, come on. Come on. I don't know why it does that sometimes. We're gonna see if they spawn both 1, 1. Okay, and it might be, I'm curious how they spawn on the second one, because they might have the same problem I have to deal with, which is like, well, just because you're getting a random value, the way the computer determines the random number is dependent on the seed, so that it'll be the same random guys. So there's one there, and then another one there, and then left one. So I'm kind of curious if it's truly random or if they're kind of hard-coded like that, but I think we'll just make it random. And then one thing we might want to add is I was in the air colliding head-to-head with a vulture, and we bounced and reversed, which technically isn't impossible in our version, but the only way we would do, actually, I don't know if we've got that scenario in our code. I'm kind of curious about that now. Because if we hit and neither lance is higher, I don't know if we have revert our DX positions, which is what the original did. I think we might have only said, hey, if their lance is higher, they win. If our lance is higher, we win, but not cared if they were equal. Which, in the original, we were actually able to bounce and come out, swap our DX. So I'm just going to check our ostrich to vulture collision. So if our player collides with... Do we do that in our ostrich class? We say... Here, enemy top collides. It would be a side collide. So it would be if we're... Yeah, so this... Yeah, you know what? I don't think we do have that ability. Because we have it if we're both grounded and we have our same Y. Where do we have that? Where do we have if our Ys are the same? Bounce our DX. Both of our DXs. If we collide... Here, look, if our vultures' Ys are equal, bounce. Okay, so we do it regardless of whether or not we're standing or not, which is fine because that works for when we're standing, and it should theoretically work when we're in the air. So I think we're okay on that. It's just something I didn't really think about. It might be more likely in the original, considering I got it there, but our Ys being exactly the same on a collision is pretty rare, so they might have a different implementation of that. I mean, I'm sure they have a different implementation of that. It's just being nitpicky about how much exact features we want to put in there, you know. Which I'm a little torn by, because I keep noticing things in the original that I don't know how to program or know if they were intentional. Like we have this like skipping logic where like if we're jumping on a platform and we kind of land wonky on it, instead of becoming grounded and walking, we just kind of continue to bounce. So if you look at, I'm going to try to recreate it. It's just hard. See that? Fuck. Okay, well, I can't replicate it, but I did it earlier in this episode where we just bounced up like across this whole freaking platform without walking on it. Which it feels like it's like almost like a bug to me, but it is in the original. I can't replicate it, but it's things like that I don't think I'm gonna. Wow, did you see the egg bounce off the side of that platform? I don't know if mine has that. It just checks for bottom collision on a platform. So I think if that were to, that's pretty amazing. It had side collision like that. None of our eggs have side collision. I'm gonna make a note of that because I feel like that might be a big deal. Because that means, yeah, I feel like we should probably do that. It's just hard because you gotta detect a side collision before a bottom collision in that sense. Which means, oh, did you see we just killed a freaking vulture? We killed a pterodactyl down here. We freaking jousted him in the mouth. I have a feeling that killing the pterodactyl has something to do with the frame at which it collides with you. Like when his mouth is open, if you hit him, that's when he will die. I don't know that for sure. I've just only killed him twice. I'm trying to pick out the similarities. So I do want to add that we want to possibly add side collision detection, side platform. Well, egg dot side collide platform, and then say swaps our DX. You know, easier to type out the idea in freaking code than to try to word it, but we probably want to do that. And then we need to add a platform spawn class encapsulating an X and a Y of a spawn point. And then we need to spawn things at random platform spawn points. What was it? I feel like there was one more thing I talked about. I feel like there was one more thing we talked about, but I don't know. We'll take it, you know, we'll have to do this tomorrow, but at least we've got a game plan. I think I'm gonna call that a day today, even though a little short. We didn't get much done, but I got some brainstorming done, which was good. And then I'm just trying to turn off I'm just trying to turn off this so we don't see that anymore. Then we can commit this version of it. So all we did today was really just add some visual platform spawns, but we know what we're doing coming up, so we've got a good idea. I'm gonna add everything with a commit message saying added platform spawn point sprites, and then tomorrow we're gonna do the actual work of making, I spelled platform, that's okay. It's okay. You know what? Maybe we try to re-amend. There's a way to re-amend. We could do this on stream, I guess. Git reamend commit node. Change a commit history. If you say git commit dash dash amend, did I already push it? I already pushed it, of course, like a derp. Fuck. I don't want to deal with reamending it on the origin main head, so I'm just gonna accept the L on that typo. It's whatever. We pushed it with a typo, it's okay. But yeah, 11 insertions, 3 deletions, basically nothing, but whatever. Our goal is to program any amount every day, so we're programming. Thanks for watching. Tomorrow we'll do some more interesting stuff. It's just like, it's me kind of like putting off the hard work of doing the egg hatching and the point systems and figuring out all that stuff, but it's the work, you know. We need to get it done. Hunter, that's what it is. Bounder is the red one, Hunter is white one, Shadow Lord blue. And we still need temporary safety. Shouldn't be too hard to do that. We just need to figure out the real game variables. You know what? In the pterodactyl I just saw, he hit right when the pterodactyl's mouth was open, so I think my theory's crap. Anyways, thanks for watching.